You live in a world where cold no longer scares you, but your ancestors lived in a world without heating, just like you will when the systems collapse. A flick of a switch and light floods the room. A simple turn and warmth spreads through every wall. You believe comfort will always be there, but history remembers differently. There were times when a single snowstorm, a single lost ember, buried entire families beneath the ice. No electricity, no hot water, no rescue, only cold, silent patience stealing life hour by hour. Medieval people weren't stronger than you. They weren't wealthier, but they survived because they remembered something we have forgotten. They knew fire doesn't always burn. They knew safety is never permanent, because winter doesn't care who you are, only what you know. They learned how to trap heat from the earth, how to turn stones into thermal batteries, how to design their homes as living machines built to defy the freeze. Today we call these things eco-design, passive heating, sustainable survival. Back then they called it staying alive. And if one night systems fail, lights vanish. Would you have the skills to survive? Technique 1: natural heat trap. Survival doesn't begin with fire. It begins with how you trap the heat you already have. In the 9th century, archaeological digs in York, England uncovered remnants of medieval houses sunk 2 to 3 feet below ground level. At first glance, it looked accidental, perhaps erosion, perhaps collapse. But closer analysis revealed something far more deliberate: natural heat trapping. By sinking the living space slightly below the earth, medieval peasants created what we now call an inverted chimney effect. Unlike traditional chimneys that carry heat upward and away, this design locks warmth where the body needs it most, close to the ground, close to life. Warm air rises, cold air sinks. A lower floor traps warm air close to the body while blocking cold drafts that skim just above ground level. The roof was kept low. Windows, if any, were no larger than a human head. Doorways were minimized, sometimes just holes covered by hides. Every design choice served one goal: keep the heat inside, keep the cold out. This wasn't luxury, it was survival. Today, modern architecture forgets this ancient truth. We build with concrete, glass, high ceilings, sprawling spaces, each one a death trap when the grid fails. A standard modern house can lose 80% of its heat through poor design within hours. But bushcrafters and off-grid survivalists know better. The earth pit shelter, the debris hut, even the Quincy snow shelter all follow the same principle: heat stays low. Insulation surrounds. Openings are minimized. When the systems collapse, it won't matter how expensive your house is. It will matter how well you know how to shape the environment around you. Ask yourself, could you build a shelter that traps heat without a single watt of electricity? Technique 2: thermal mass. Fire gives warmth, but what keeps you alive is how long that warmth lasts. In the 11th century, archaeological digs in Novgorod, Russia revealed medieval homes built with an ingenious survival strategy: thermal mass floors. Instead of relying solely on fire, these homes used stone slabs, clay bricks, and packed earth to absorb heat during the day and release it slowly through the night. The thicker the mass, the longer the warmth lingered. Some wealthier homes even built stone platforms or beds directly above small fire chambers. During the day, heat was stored in the dense materials. At night, the family could sleep on top, basking in gentle, radiant warmth without an active flame. This wasn't comfort, it was calculated survival. In modern times, we see this same principle in passive solar houses, rocket mass heaters, and stone masonry stoves. A rocket mass heater, for example, burns hot for a short time, but the stored heat in cob or stone can radiate for 12 hours or more without using extra fuel. But when the grid collapses, few people will know how to recreate it from scratch. Survivalists and bushcrafters today use the same ideas: heat stones in a fire, bury them under bedding, under shelter floors, inside clay pots. Let the stored heat carry you through the coldest hours of night. Thermal mass doesn't just warm you, it saves fuel, reduces smoke, prevents deadly temperature drops. When you can't keep a fire burning all night, or when every stick of wood matters, Thermal storage can mean the difference between life and death. Ask yourself, without gas, without electricity, do you know how to store the sun's warmth in stone? Technique 3. Thermal zoning. Survival isn't just about heat. It's about where the heat goes and who gets to keep it. In the 10th century, at the Viking fortress of Trelleborg, Denmark, archaeologists uncovered longhouses that revealed one of the most overlooked survival strategies of the medieval world: thermal zoning. These homes weren't just random shelters. They were engineered spaces layered and organized to conserve every fraction of warmth. People slept together in tight clusters, raising local temperatures by up to 6 to 8 degrees. Livestock, cows, sheep-goats were housed in adjacent zones, their body heat adding precious warmth. Sleeping areas were raised above ground, avoiding the coldest air near the floor. Even the roof angles, the position of doors, and the placement of hearths were calculated to minimize drafts, trap smoke, and control airflow. Materials mattered too. Wool hides, tightly fitted timber, all chosen to seal warmth and block wind. Nothing was left to chance. It wasn't luxury. It was survival science. Today, modern homes are death traps in a blackout. Open-plan layouts waste heat. Multiple unused rooms bleed warmth. Sleeping alone under thin blankets in separate rooms deadly. Survivalists, mountaineers, and bushcrafters still apply the same ancient knowledge. Sleep close. Share body heat. Seal off space. Use livestock or heated objects as thermal buffers. In a true collapse scenario, privacy becomes irrelevant. What matters is how you stack bodies, heat sources, and insulation layers to outlast the cold. When privacy kills, survival demands proximity. Ask yourself, when the temperature drops below freezing, are you willing to change how you live to stay alive? Medieval people didn't survive winter because they were stronger. They survived because they remembered, because they knew that when the cold came, when firewood ran low, when systems failed, when the night stretched longer than the day, the only thing that kept you alive was what you knew. Not money, not comfort, not hope. They shaped the ground to trap heat. They stored the sun's warmth in stone. They layered their lives' body, animal, earth into one seamless survival machine. And today, we've forgotten. We rely on systems we don't control. We trust conveniences that vanish with a single blackout. But the truth is simple. When the lights go out, when the cold seeps in, the difference between life and death will not be luck. It will be memory. It will be skill. It won't be luck. It won't be money. It will be memory. It will be skill. It will be what you do before the cold arrives. So ask yourself, if winter strikes without warning, are you ready?